Evening all, welcome in. More Tour 10 grinding for you tonight. An hour until the season ends. You can see by the title of the video, I'm on my way to try and get as close to 20,000 clan points for the season as I can. Relatively impressed with that myself, given that I was only expecting to do maybe about 8,000-9,000 maximum. It's been a really good season. Oh, this hole. Right, okay. Very interesting hole, this one. I couldn't work it out for the first maybe week or two I was playing Tour 10. Sometimes I still don't get it. You need to aim up kind of top of the fairway here. It's at least a 10% over adjustment. And with this kind of wind, I'm going full top spin. Probably overpower as well. A bit of curl. Need to try and get over that bunker. Helps to hit perfect, but if you're going to hit great, a great left is the best way to go, because it'll still take you over. That was a really good lucky start to the stream there. Less curl and a perfect ball might not have made it over that bunker. Anyway, going to get some Centurions at the end of the season. There's been rumours abound that the Centurions are going to be a bit different now. I don't believe that's going to be the case myself, obviously, because we've got the side spin 4 and 5 ball potential now. I'm actually really happy with Centurions the way they are. A lot of people don't like them. I personally use them all the time, especially in tournaments, par 4 tournaments. I've got a good stash of them because I've been in Champions 100 for 7 or 8 seasons, up until recently. So I really like the balls. Needle speed's great. Wind resistance 4 always helps. So no issues with them at all. If that's what we get at the end of the season, I'll be extremely happy with that. Opponent hits a great shot. They've used a Titan. That does help on this hole, especially if you get any sort of headwind at all. It was a slight headwind there. So yeah, that does help. You can get a really long shaky putt on this green as well, which I have missed on occasion in the past. Anyway, I had a bit of an up and down day on Tour 10 today. Been trying to grind as much as I can for the clan because we're quite close to the cut line to be relegated from Champions 100, but it's not going to happen. But we all just wanted to grind as much as we could to try and keep ourselves safe as much as we could. But I think we'll be okay. There's only 55 minutes left now and we're a good bit away from the cut line. So hopefully he should make this. No reason why he wouldn't. So I'm actually pretty buzzing about the new season starting. I'm going to try and do maybe not 20,000 this season, maybe try and get to 12 at least. Tournament starting tomorrow as well. Right, this hole. If we get headwind, I'm confident. Yeah, this is my favourite wind in this hole. A lot of people go before the bunker and bounce over. Well, if I get headwind in this hole, I set up about here, almost at min sniper distance. I'll offset, depending on the strength of the wind, I'll offset a square behind the hole, or whatever side of the hole, for every 5 mile an hour of wind. So I've got 9, and I'll adjust max plus 20, and I usually end up pretty near the hole. This is a straight headwind as well, so, well, almost a straight headwind. But if I get a tailwind in this hole, sometimes I struggle. So the headwind is going to make it pull up a little bit, obviously. There you go, hole in one. That's why it's my favourite wind on this hole. Because if you get that shot right, you're going to be within a yard every single time. So like I said, max plus 20% adjustment. If it's a really, really stiff headwind, like maybe over 11 or 12 miles an hour, I'll stick 30% max on it. Let's see what AST is going to do. He's going to need to get it in the hole, obviously. I'm relatively confident he won't, but you never know. the offset's the important thing with this hole. You need to offset. So if the wind's going left to right, you obviously need to offset to the left-hand side of the pin a green square for every 5 miles an hour of wind, roughly. I mean, it's a kind of trial and error. I've been working on this shot for a while, as long as I've been playing Tour 10. Always unlucky there, actually. Just drifted away from the hole a little bit. That does happen sometimes. I just got lucky, obviously, with the hole in one. See if he wants a rematch. Unlikely after I just did that. Fair enough. Okay, so we're going in again. Hopefully get some different holes from the ones we got the other night when I was doing this. So we had quite a lot of Gocasho Bay holes the last time, but I don't think we got that shootout, so it's good for me to be able to show that shootout. So yeah, the tournament tomorrow. I'm not a big fan of Greenock Point. I know a lot of people like the course. I'm not a huge fan of it. I know they've redesigned 3 of the holes. I've seen kind of the redesign of those. They do look quite different. I'm just not a fan of the par 3s on Greenock Point. I can never ever... I always have real problems with them. Particularly the kind of... People call it a lottery shootout where you've got to kind of bounce up to the top of the fringe and then roll back down towards the hole. I don't like the randomness of that hole. Right, so we've got a long par 5 here. I don't know if this one came up last stream. So I usually do full top spin, obviously, and a clicker or a bar of right spin, depending on how the wind's going. Max plus 10, but push up as far as we can as well, obviously. And because the second shot is a bit of a stretch sometimes and stiffer winds, I try and do overpower if possible. And hit as close to perfect as I can. I don't know, I've got slightly better at hitting perfect and overpower lately. It's just, I think I put it up in Golf Clash Elite a couple of weeks ago. I actually pulled the phone away from my face a bit and blur my eyes, which seems to increase my chances of hitting perfect. I don't know why that is, but I found if I really, really stare hard at the screen, then I don't get the result there that I want. So, that was a good shot. We'll take it. As I said, 10% max adjustment, and just it's quite a thin fairway, but it's not that hard to get it down the middle actually, and it's quite a forgiving fairway as well. If you hit great, you can sometimes still keep it in. Okay, that's good. We got a tailwind, so you can land on this. Now it's a very bumpy bit of fairway this. You just need to be careful where you land, but we're quite safe. There is look, if you hit here, there's a little sticky bit here. So we're just going to up to that bit and then do a rough adjustment. Don't need to be too exact with that. I don't think the albatross is likely. I'll put a bit of curl on it as well normally, just to get it, bring it in to the pin a little bit more. By the way, if anybody's watching and wants to leave a wee message on the chat or ask a question or anything, I'm quite happy to answer questions or interact with people if they want to. If anybody's new to Tour 10, a lot of people find it a very difficult tour, say that they struggle with it, or it's like a hell tour because of the Nordic Fjords holes, but I don't actually find it that difficult at all. I think it's because I've been playing it for as long, but also when I first came into it, you did have a lot of trouble with the Nordic Fjords holes. I think a lot of people do. It's just getting used to the kind of physics of the way the holes and the way they work. But Nordic Fjords, I quite enjoy seeing them coming up these days. This is going to be quite close actually. Unlucky. That was a good shot. I love it when people use that laughing emoji as if you're being sarcastic or something. I genuinely meant that. That was a good shot. Right, I've missed a few chips today. A lot of the Endbringer Brigade will say, oh, it's because you're using the rapier. Well, I don't believe that's the case. I'm just not very good at chips, never have been. Even when I use the Endbringer, sometimes don't get them. Requires very little adjustment. Great right is probably going to help me there, because I should have maybe gone a little bit more outside of the cup. Right, I have this instinct to click on the chat messages every time an alert comes up. I'm going to try and stop doing that. Not that there's anything to hide on the chat, I just don't like invading people's privacy that way, I suppose. Right, so I will stop. I will not go on it again. Right, so this hole's okay. If you get headwind on the second shot, it can be quite tough, but you should try and bounce on the previous bit of fairway, full curl, with your wood club, and it should come near the green if you hit perfect, and it'll avoid the rough on the left hand side. Now this is an interesting hole in this type of wind. I normally play up on the top fairway here with a sniper and roll it back down off the top of the fringe there, but in this kind of wind I'll play on the left pad and use Goliath. Now I'll show you my land spot and approach in a minute. This guy's going to go the same way, which obviously in this wind, yeah, you should do that. I use a 35%, roughly 30-35% over adjustment here. This hole used to always catch me out because I didn't adjust enough, and I ended up caught in the rough there. It's not a bad shot. The trick is putting enough backspin on it to allow it to roll up nicely to the hole. You need to use about 2 to 3 backspin at least. This is quite a strong tailwind, so I'll put the red ring by the rough up about here at max distance of the Goliath. Hate the Goliath, as I said, but we need to use it. I'd probably go about 3 a click backspin here. You kind of want the second, third bounce on the fringe there, but yeah, so 13.5. That's going to be 14.8, 16.1. 17.4. Okay, nearly 18 rings, so almost a full double ring adjustment. Then I'll put a bit of curl on it as well, and hope we hit perfect. So fingers crossed we get this nearer the hole. That's not bad at all. Coming in quite nicely. There's me clicking on the chat again, sorry. So that worked out well. I find I can get closer using that method than if I go with the sniper bounce, which is why in that kind of wind I'll always go down onto that left pad. It's the easiest shot. If you just go with the huge over adjustment, obviously, of the 30%, 35%. So, not seeing anything coming up on the chat yet. Please feel free to leave a wee message if you just want to say hi, or let me know that I'm actually, there's people watching and listening, because I feel like I'm just chatting to no one otherwise, and no one's actually taking in anything I'm saying. Not that I have loads of wisdom to share, obviously, but I think I know these holes pretty well. Now, it's interesting that this hole comes up because I do tend to approach it a very different way from what anyone else does. It sometimes works for me, and sometimes I get badly burned in the second shot. Unless it's this type of wind, right? This is the only time I'll go over right-hand side here if I get this type of wind. But it's not the safest shot in the world either. So we'll go 2 backspin, 2 right spin, and I'm going to try and land, obviously just on this pad here. Right, and you'll need to use a bit of right curl as well. Not too much. That's probably going to end up in the rough or the water. Don't really have much luck with this hole. I'm not a big fan of it at all. Even this shot, if you get it right, the wind can hurt you on the next shot. Normally what I do, right, is I pack a bag with Apocalypse and Cataclysm and Thor's Hammer and Cataclysm, and I'll go on the left hand side, roll up with the Thor's Hammer to as close to the top of that fairway as possible, and then use my Cataclysm to come over from the left hand side to the pin. Normally I get pretty close to the pin, but it is a risky one because it depends on the wind you get in your second shot. Oh, he's gone all the way over. Nice shot. A lot of people play that way as well. I've never played that way, and I don't feel confident enough with the adjustments and things to go with it. Right, we get lucky there because we get a nice healthy tailwind. Right, this adjustment is quite big. It's about 20% normally. I'm going to offset the ball guide quite a bit from the pin just to allow for that to roll out a little bit. It's quite a strong tailwind. We are adjusting down into the water, so you might not need to go quite 20%. Maybe take a ring off that. There's 10. Maybe go about 16. And then a bit of counter curl as well. Maybe I'm thinking it's quite a strong tailwind. We'll see how this comes in. I don't regularly get the albatross in this hole. Obviously it's quite a tricky one. I didn't need the curl. That's probably the closest I've got for a while with that one. But why did I put that left curl on it? See, this is the problem. You think you're trying to overcompensate sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't quite get the push that you think it will from the wind. Maybe the over adjustment obviously does help with that. Secondary wind effect is almost negated by the fact that you've done that over adjustment. It's quite a tricky shot. He's got to play over the bunker, and he's between clubs as well. So his first shot worked out okay for him, but he's never going to be able to attack the pin properly from this position unless he uses a new side spin 5 ball. Wonder if anyone's used those yet and if they've been effective. Can you let me know in the chat if you're watching and you've used a side spin 5 ball? Which hole did you use it on? Oh, here we go. There he goes. What a shot. I will take that one on the chin. That was superb. Well, he want to play again. He might. He's clearly having a good run. If he's going to wait that long. Oh, yeah, he does. Not sure how keen I am to play him again if he's having that kind of luck at the moment, but yeah. That's the other thing, luck. If I'm not playing first tier, I'll talk about that just now. But if I'm playing, then I'll talk to you through the shot first, because this is a tricky hole as well. That's a tricky wind for this one too. A lot of people think in this game that it's all about luck. Like, to an extent, yeah, that's true. Sometimes you can hit perfect or great or whatever. Sometimes you feel like your opponent gets a slight headwind, you get a slight tailwind or whatever, and it makes a difference. But people get too wrapped up in the psychology of this game. They think, oh, Playdemic puts you on a losing run or Playdemic puts you on a winning run. There's no such thing. You make your own luck. You make your wins and your losses, and it's really up to you to sort that out in your head. Obviously, psychologically, if you're on a losing streak, yeah, you might keep losing because you keep getting into every game thinking, I'm going to lose here. Oh, look, my opponent's hit a good drive. I'm definitely going to lose this one. Right, 15.2, hefty wind. Okay, so I kind of normally play this one at about 5% elevation. Try to get your ball guide, try to have your landed spot in the middle of this fairway and your ball guide kind of curling slightly to the right. Oh, this is tricky. That's a tough wind to get. Right, so I'll go all the way down, a wee bit more maybe as well, right? And the trick is, you need to hit perfect or you're screwed. I may have moved too much. No, I think I've got away with it. Just about. So that can be a very tricky drive. And there's Tony. I'd be good to meet Tony if he's grinding at the moment. I always enjoy the games I have with him. Hope Tartan Rainbows are going for that gold. The Master 2 fight is getting quite tricky, I think. I think a lot of clans have gone with this theory that if you promote from Master 2 in one season, then relegate from Champions 100, like have a rest season, then you can get back in Master 2. That works out well sometimes if you get a kind of weaker bracket in the Master 2. But sometimes you get a strong bracket and you have to actually grind more and get more points than you would to stay in the Champions 100, if you know what I mean. It seems like this season it's going to take 475,000 points to stay in C100 comfortably. I think we've got about 480 or something thousand. Right, this shot is, with a headwind, a nightmare to be honest, because I like to sit about here and try and get over that way, but it's a 20% over adjustment at times depending on the direction of the wind, so I'm not confident about trying that here. I'll end up in the rough, and this guy's a good player, so we'll just try and get it towards the green. If you're adjusting down in here, obviously you're going to lose a bit of distance on your shot as well. Okay, So we just want to try and get this to curl up. I've hit a great right. Okay, well, that's worked out better. Peter, thank you for checking in. I know I might not be the most engaging streamer in the world, but I like to think I know roughly what I'm doing most of the time in Tour 10. Yeah, Tony, that I see they've put in 4 promo spots in Master 2. That's crazy. In previous seasons, it's been about 8 or 9. Millie, thank you. I know it's bedtime for a lot of people just now. It should be bedtime for me, to be honest, because I've got 3 kids to look after in the morning while my wife works from home, but I did inform her that it was the end of the season and the start of the new season. And she understood that, obviously, knowing how addicted I am to this game. She knows I've started streaming as well. She's been slagging the life out of me for it. Somehow she says that, you know, she understands it. I don't get why she would understand it at all, but, you know, that's good. It's good that I've got a wife that understands that, you know, the love I have for this game. Millie, yes, we do play a lot in Tour 10. I haven't met you for a while. I'd quite like to meet up again because I always enjoy our games. Anybody from Tartan Rainbows generally. Played Alex from Tartan Rainbows earlier. We had 3 really good games. Really good games, actually. So Alex, if you're about in there, you know, it was good to play you. I'll enjoy meeting up with Tartan Rainbows people and getting 3 games on the go. Right, we've got this shootout again with a tailwind. So we'll go with that Goliath shot. This guy knows what he's doing though, and he's curled it in beautifully there. I'm going to struggle. That puts the pressure on me. We got it that close last time. I don't think it'll happen again. We may have to take the beating here. I'll take him for a 3rd game if he wants one. Right, 3 maybe? Oh, maybe just 3, yeah, because the wind's pointing slightly northwest. Right, so 11.5. See, you can see I'm working it out in my head here. This is what I do. Don't use apps or anything. 5, 12.6, 13.7. We'll go 14. Okay. Curl it in. Maybe that's too much. We will see. Peter, I'm from just outside Glasgow. Near Motherwell. One of my clanmates described me as having a nice, ordinary regional accent. I don't quite have the Glasgow the harsh kind of Glasgow East End type accent. I have a nice neutral Lanarkshire accent, which is maybe not as difficult to understand for certain people. I don't know. I think there's Tony from Edinburgh, I'm sure. I think that's right. I should have subtitles. I was watching one of my streams the other night, and my only stream. I was watching my only stream the other night, and YouTube had the subtitles up, and half of the words that I said they put in wrong. Rapsy Nisbet. Yeah. That's what people associate with near Glasgow. God, this guy is giving me a doing tonight. He's hit that shot beautifully as well. This is embarrassing. We started well. It's this hole again. It's a lovely cross tailwind. A menacing cross tailwind. I'm not going to put full top spin in this one because we've got maybe 6 bars. Yeah. I aim to hit up here again. Roughly, at least a 10% over adjustment. Right, we'll set it about there. Bit of overpower. Maybe not as much curl as last time. I think I'm going to fail on this one. No string vest, Millie. This is going way out there. Yep, too much top spin. I might just have to give him that 3rd game, because there is no way I'm getting back into this one. Okay, well done, Anto. Take your wins. You gave me a drubbing. and I'll have my tail between my legs and slink away. Right. I'm only going to do a short stream tonight. It's only going to be about another 20 minutes, 25 minutes, because I want to come off before the new season starts. Millie, it would be lovely if you subscribed. I don't know how many of these I'm going to do because I'm back at work next week and things are going to get a bit crazy. But I'll try and pop on maybe the weekends and the odd night here or there where I can. Right, this classic Oasis hole. Last time we got the wind that put us near the trees. This time it's great. So I don't actually use much over adjustment at all on this one. 5% if anything. Try and get over there nicely onto the next fairway. You don't want to use too much top spin because you'll roll out onto the rough on the other side if you do. Hit a great left. Shouldn't matter. Nice. Danny. Danny, you are English, eh? I assume. Everyone surely knows I'm Scottish. Scottish and proud. There's a lot of good Scottish golf clashers out there. I think we represent pretty well. Lots of Scottish golf clans as well now. See, Tartan Warriors made it into Champions 100. Well done them. As long as you've got Tartan in your name, then, you're fine by me. Because I started my own clan 5 seasons ago, called them Tartan Unicorns, and at that point I didn't know anything about the Tartan Rainbow clans, knew nothing about them, and a few people joined and said, is this the Tony Richardson clan? I was like, no. I didn't want to put them off and say, no, I don't want you here if you think it's Tony Richardson's clan. Right, so find a little sticky funnely bit on this hole. It's 15% over I play on this one. Try and get that so it's right coming in nicely. There we go. And we're at mid-club. So 9.5 roughly, maybe, just under that. Right, I'm going to do the little trick that doesn't work when you pull it right back before you release. Oh, that didn't sound too clever. Nowhere near. Adjusted too much. In the Shires, Danny. Which Shire? There's lots of shires in England. It's nice to see the chat nice and active tonight. I can tell we're all online trying to grind before the new season starts. So our Tartan Rainbow's going to promote with a gold. The last time I checked they were silver. Hopefully you get gold. It would be well deserved. Right, I always think I've got a chance for an albatross in this hole, but no gold, Tony. Unlucky. That's crazy. 520,000. That would get you a top 15 in Champions 100 this season or something like that, I think. I'll check in a minute. Right, we need to get back to winning ways here. I was bragging the other night about how I never dropped below 4,000 trophies in Tour 10. And I'm getting dangerously close to that now. Lost 3 games in a row. Never ever happens. Yeah, I think you would have, Tony. Your bracket looks like it was easily the most competitive. Peter, who are you casting up there? Right, so this hole, I like it because I set up blue ring by the bunker. Kind of start off with a bar of left spin, but I'll go more than that this time because I've got that wind pointing left to right and it's quite a strong tailwind as well in a sense, so we'll go 3.5. plus 30% at max. That's going to be a big adjustment. 15.4, 16.8, 18.2, 18.2, okay. Right, we'll see how this comes in. Running out of time trying to work that out. The maths, COVID-shire, Danny. I think every place in England is COVID-shire at the moment, isn't it? Right, that's coming in nicely. I'm happy with that. If you get that wee roll off there, oh, here we go. Second hole in one of the night. Lovely. I was going to brag before and say every time I play this hole, I either get it within 1.5 yards or in the hole. So, there we go. I don't always find the funnel, but it's always good to see that one going in when you do. Thanks, Colin. Thanks for dropping in again. Yep. I do enjoy getting a hole in one, and that one when the